Natasha, and thank you so much for joining me today. Well, today we are doing one of my favorite techniques. This is so simple and a little bit different from using just white cardstock as your card base, and we are going to use Kraft coloured cardstock here as my card front and as my card base. Now this is just one of those really simple techniques that should be on your go-to list every time. I'm going to use today the Caring Flowers by Gina Designs, this gorgeous big floral design here. There are lots and lots of stamp sets out there that are very similar to this, and that you could even if you don't have one that has a floral arrangement, then you could put several flowers and leaves together. You could have a whole lot of fun masking and all those good things to create something. Or if you wanted to create an entire background, then you could add a whole lot of individual elements and just do this over the background. I mean, lots of different ways. There's always another way to do the technique, which is so important in card making. It's really important to know that what you see on screen is truly just sort of like a springboard to springboard you into one or the other directions, or inspire you, or think, yeah, I could do that, but actually I've got this that I think I could use. So lots of good ways to go about what you see on screen and creating that using what you have in your stash. So I have got this into a stamping platform because this stamp is pretty big. I must say, I love the size of it, and that means I can feel like I can use different elements of it and it still not look like the same stamp. Now I had an idea of what I wanted to go in the middle here, so I am having to make sure I don't use too much. I think you could definitely use a little bit more if you had a bigger card base. I am aiming for a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card base all up. If you were to create something like a 5 by 7 inch card base, then you might have a little more space. Now I have been making some of these recently. I must admit I didn't used to lean towards a bigger sized card, but it does give you a lot more real estate. And so I've been making the cards that I make off screen, not on camera. I've been making them a bit bigger and quite enjoying that. So perhaps you may see that coming up. Then I pop a layer of clear embossing powder over top, and this is always fun. This just makes it shiny. You don't need this at all, but the key to this element is going to be a white pen and a black pen. Now I think there is the forever argument around the best white pen. This is the Uni-Ball Signo one, and I have found that the one in the 3-pack that comes specifically in a 3-pack works better than me buying them individually. I don't know why that is, because they're all, I assume, from the same, place, made the same way. I don't know whether it's storage. I don't know whether it's because the 3-pack comes sealed. I have no idea, but I have better luck. I have tried some cheaper ones, and really, you just use what you have on hand. If you really wanted to, you could also use a little bit of like a fine glue pen or a fine Versamark pen, and just fill in the bits that you wanted to be white, and then you could use some white embossing powder to go over top, and that would give you a bright white look for sure. I was happy with the level of white here, but all I'm going for is a Kraft black and white look. It's classic, it's clean, it's beautiful. It's really therapeutic to do a little bit of colouring, and just I have a little black fine liner here. This is I think it's a 0.3 or a 0.5. I have 2 of them, and that's all I have, so it's one or the other. And I just sort of, if I need more lines, I put more lines in. If I need to adjust, because these leaves, the veins on the leaves don't come all the way out to the edge, so I just carry them on and make them go all the way to the edge. You can adjust the image so that it works for what you need in that project specifically. Sometimes with watercolor, it's nice that the veins don't go all the way to the edge, because then the watercolor sort of seeps all around and through it. But when I'm doing a technique like this, then I definitely want there to be that continuation right to the edge for this part. So as you can see, it's literally just choose what you want to fill in, choose what you want to make black, choose what you want to make white, and choose what you want to leave Kraft. And I think this is just so easy. Now I will say that when you saw up close before, the white was very white, and it is white in real life, but depending on the lights and where I have the shadows and things, I appear to lose the white a little bit, but you'll just have to trust me. It's there, it's bright and beautiful. So I have I think this is from Gina Designs. I don't know what it's called, but it's You. If it's still available, I will link it down below in the description box. And of course, that's where you can find links to all of the products. Even if you just want to sort of have a closer look or check them out so that you can Google it and find a good deal. Lots of things. All of the items that I try and use will be linked down below, not only so that you can shop the links if you choose to, but also so that you can take a closer look and be like, oh, what aspects does that trimmer have that she used in the video? So it just makes it easier rather than me having to go through individually, because I get lots of lovely questions on the items that I use, and I know that when I'm watching a video, that's what I'm interested in too. If they have something that really works for them, I want to take a closer look and sort of be like, is that going to work for me? So here is where I want to have a white border around the outside of the craft, but I don't want there to be white behind the word You that I die cut out. So I have just very, very quickly drawn in the center there where the U is. I just went through it, and then I'm going to cut the most terrible looking square out of there just so that I don't have anything behind there. Now, this would be brilliant as a shaker card. This would be perfect to create a shaker out of, but I didn't want the shaker element today, and so I'm going to keep this nice and flat. I've got some glue there to pop this onto my card base. As I said, this is a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card base, and I really do like these word dies because it is much easier for me than, I don't know why, I don't have very, very good success in lining up individual alphabet dies straight. So I do like the occasional word die. Now, when I am coming to put this on, you can see that I have all of the foam tape, and for whatever reason, this tape is super sticky and I cannot line this up straight, and I don't want to commit. And so I back out here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a layer of liquid glue to the back of my foam tape. I'm going to use my finger to smooth it all out so it doesn't squidge anywhere. But this gives me the dimension of the foam, but I'm going to have that wiggle factor. And this is something that when you are struggling, all of us struggle at times with lining things up well. And then I can put this down, and then look, now I can move it around, and that is going to work out much, much better for me than having to sort of commit and being scared to rip my project if I don't get it in the right place. So that has worked out really, really well. Now, I did think you could have some stamping behind the U, but I'm keeping this super duper clean. I'm really loving the look of this card today. This was the kind of card making I felt like doing. And I know that not too much can go wrong. So I pop that little inside piece of the O there, and then I have those letters I can use for something else. I have these from Tim Holtz. Now, these are so old. I will give these credit because they have not lost their stick. They have not come off the backing or anything like that. I suspect these are long gone. I've had these for years, so I'm not sure if they are still there. If they are, as I said, I will link everything down below that I can try and get my hands on. But this is just a little thank to the thank you. Now, I use lots of these types of cards at the moment because when I'm giving a gift for the holiday season, as we are heading into summer here in New Zealand, and that is where people have their longest break for the year over Christmas, because this is our summer. And so this is when we sort of say thank you so much for your work for the year, for your effort. We appreciate you. We appreciate all you do. And so I give out a lot of these cards. So that's definitely what I make a lot of at this time of year. Now, I added a little bit of sparkle dust pen. You can see it just there, and that white has disappeared a little bit, but I promise you it's there. So thank you so much for joining me today. I will leave links to everything in the description box down below, and I'll see you next time.